This is Michael Athey sitting here with Derek Washington at the LSM Farr Public Library in Aurora, Nebraska. Hey Derek, what I want to start off with is just simply where were you born and where did you grow up originally?
Mississippi, Pascagoula.
How long did you live there? Or do you even remember?
I lived there for 7 years, if I remember correctly.
Okay, did you move around much growing up?
Yeah, from there we moved to California, and I don't remember all the other places we moved to. It's just been so long. Before we moved to Nebraska, we were in California.
Okay, and when did you move to Nebraska officially?
The first time was 2002 or 2001. Then we came back in 2003, and we stayed here ever since.
Okay, growing up, did you have any siblings? Cousins?
2 sisters, 1 brother. Half sisters, half brothers. No full-blooded.
Okay, your parents, what do your parents do currently?
My mom works at the manor here in Aurora, and my dad, I really don't know because he wasn't in my life as much.
Okay, where did you go to high school? Did you go to high school here specifically, do you remember, or was it just moving around? You just went to school wherever?
I moved around going to a lot of schools, and I graduated here at Aurora.
Okay, what year was that?
2014. Yeah, 2014.
Do you know, is there any family you see from around here, or what you used to live in Mississippi or California?
We see family on my mom's side it'd be the Dolly side, so we see family here and there once often. They live in Bruning.
Okay, since you've lived here in Nebraska and graduated back in 2014, have you ever considered moving out of Nebraska?
Yes, I desire to, but if that happens, it happens.
Okay, what really has kept you from moving?
Probably family, at least, and friends. Not in a bad way, just...
Okay, what... Nebraska in general, what have you struck you most about the state in general? Well, either in the Aurora itself, or...
The weather changes a lot here. It could be sunny the next, and it could just be snowy, rainy. The weather just throws me off. And, Nebraska seems to be a little bit behind compared to other states, in my own opinion.
Behind how, weather-wise?
Maybe some laws, or how could I word that? Just behind a little bit, and from different states to other states. Law passing, and yeah.
Okay, have you ever spent time in other parts of the state, like Lincoln, Omaha in the east, or probably Grand Island, or Kearney, or as far west as Scotts Bluff?
I've spent time in Kearney. I've been to Lincoln and Omaha. They're not that bad for places. A lot of crazy drivers, though.
What do you consider living in those cities or some of the rural communities?
Um, I like to get used to my environment around me more. Bigger cities, they seem to have more around them, and you don't have to travel as far. More job opportunities compared to like a small town. You have to go out of town to at least find a job. Just depends on the job search and what they require.
Okay, for have you ever visited any of the state parks, monuments, historical sites,
Like,
like say Fort Kearny, Chimney Rock, Rock, more specifically, also some of the like Lake Calamus is or
not
Mormon
really.
Island.
Oh,
No.
Mormon Island. Yeah, I visited that place before.
Uh, would you like to ever, if you have had the chance, would you probably want to visit any of those places?
Yeah, gives me gives me time to explore and to meet new environments.
Okay, have you ever attended a college or university here in Nebraska?
Hastings,
Hastings at the tech school?
Hastings, CCC.
Yeah. What struck you about that experience?
That was my first time going to college, and it showed me that it takes a lot of work to get to where you want to go, and a lot of discipline, and it's a lot of work, and it just brings back memories of school, how you had to go every day, and I wasn't really much of a school person, but
Would you like to go back and try to finish, at least get an associate's degree?
I plan on to go back to college at least, so
And if you do you plan on staying in Nebraska or possibly moving elsewhere?
I'm not really for sure on that one because it could change later down the road. I mean, if I end up staying in Nebraska, I'm already used to the weather changing like 24/7 and pretty adapted to my area, so I wouldn't be bothered leaving or staying by that point.
Okay, okay, if you were able to spend the rest of your life in Nebraska, I think we've covered this question, but I thought I'd ask, would you rather live in a smaller community or the larger urban centers like Lincoln or Omaha?
Probably more of a smaller town due to less violence, or just smaller towns, you know more people. Compared to bigger towns, you don't know if the person's going to be like a psychopath or anything along lines like that. There seems to be less violence in smaller towns, so from what I've seen so far.
And overall, other than just the weather, what's your total experience of living in Nebraska?
It's not that bad. I mean, every state has their up and downs for laws and for people and for what's that word I'm thinking of? What's the word? It's a word. Implied assumptions. I can't remember the word. Try to cough. It's gonna bug me now.
Okay, let's quickly move on from that while you're thinking. If any, what laws would you like to see the Nebraska unicameral pass? Or what would you like the state to do differently?
For as long as I lived in Nebraska, My sister, she's mentally handicapped, and we went through situations where we tried to get help, and we haven't got much help from the state before. So probably more of just them being more helpful to people who actually need it. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in poverty or they have hard situations they go through. Probably more effective laws or take what they do more serious, at least.
Okay, and final question. What do you recommend? What do you recommend others to move and live in Nebraska, and why?
Yes, I would recommend them. I would recommend some people to live in Nebraska, and why is because if I think it best suits their surroundings, and they seem like they would like it, that'd be the main reason why I'd recommend it for them. And it's actually not that bad of a state. It has its ups and downs, but it's pretty calm and pretty relaxing when you settle down.
Okay, I kind of lied about last question. Final question here. What do you think of the sports teams? Especially with the UNL.
I'm not much into sports. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Nebraska's football team, but they've had their ups and downs. They do good some days and they do terrible other days. But I've seen a lot of people just get rallied up about sports, and oh Lord, imagination from there.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.